and Shirley. I love, it's a great looking bowling show.
I probably will. Laverne and Shirley would love me to have in the show. Hey, Fish, we are live, and guess what? He is an iconic actor from one of the funniest films of all time. The film Blazing Saddles. The actor Burton Bubba Gilliam. We will hoot and holler with Bubba on today's show. The Hard Line with John Hardison gives us some March Madness long shots to look at. Heidi's Hollywood with Heidi Holliker looks at why so many film and TV projects are out there, but so few actors are working. Our Schmuck of the Week just lost his baseball career, and who's got the swag is a beauty who shows off some other arms. Something Fishy is all about waiting in line. Fish, you're going to pontificate. Hi, everybody. Welcome to Daly Fish. John Daly here with Eric Snyder, a.k.a. Fish. We're coast to coast, coming to you from Las Vegas, where Fish is, and Myrtle Beach, where I am. We talk sports, entertainment, and everything in between. Nobody talks about it like we do. Fish, folks are going to love talking to Bubba, Burton Gilliam, tonight. I'm excited.
Me too. I'm so excited. I'm excited that we added someone great to our show. We got a Hollywood segment with Heidi Holliker. She's been in the business 40 years. So let's roll so we can get to our guests.
Absolutely. It's time for the daily grind. Here's what we're grinding on first. Not so good news. Major League Baseball poured more gas on the fire today. Opening day is canceled. First 7 games gone. Fish, I'm a bit surprised. What's your take?
I'm flabbergasted. You and I talk about this every day. We're baseball guys. We're probably two of the last guys on the planet that followed this story religiously. And we said on the show, how many times did we say they can't be that stupid, or are they that stupid? And I'm in shock. I really thought they would come in the 11th hour to an agreement. And for a sport where you have millionaires and billionaires arguing, in this culture we're in right now, it's not a good look for your fan base, for future fan base, for anyone involved. And we talked to Hardline before the show. He thinks this could rival 1994, and that's a disaster for the sport of baseball. You agree?
Absolutely. I can't figure it out. I think one of the things that they're forgetting about is they're forgetting that there's a third party involved in here, and it's the fans of America or fans of the world that watch baseball. And I personally think fans have got to get vocal. They've got to be a part of these negotiations. Now, maybe they're not interested. Maybe fans are just too, okay, man, no baseball. Okay, that's fine. I'm not going to do it. If so, then we're going to lose baseball. And I think fans have got to voice their opinion. I hope they do it. I hope the people in Florida who are losing money out on spring training are going to start voicing their opinion. But the fans need to start talking. And I would encourage folks to start voicing, start putting stuff on social media, get them back together, because this is supposedly our American pastime.
Right. Let me show you one meme that you're going to start seeing a lot of.
Yeah.
Look at that.
Isn't that fascinating?
That's Bryce Harper. Right. Local Las Vegas guy, reigning MVP from the Philadelphia Phillies, and he's wearing a Tokyo Giants shirt. I wouldn't be if some guys go over there. Now, if you go over there and you get injured, your Major League Baseball contract is null and void. But some guys are going to go over there, John. He won't, but you'll see some guys go over there. I don't blame him. You know what, real quick? We'll get John Williams on us, our Pacific Rim correspondent. They should put the Japanese baseball games on TV here. If you're a baseball junkie, you'll watch it.
Great minds think alike. I actually wrote to him and said, how do we watch Japanese baseball? Here's one of the other things, though. The Major League Baseball owners and the Player Association, they're actually talking about, well, what do you do if somebody goes over there? Can they do that? The Players Association says they can go over if there's no agreement. But at the same time, too, like you said, what do you do with the contract? So I don't know. I don't think any players are going to go over there. I think eventually we're going to have it. But you know what? We got to have it soon. And if we don't, it's going to be detrimental to the game. All right. Next, March Madness might be crazy good. Fish, last weekend, 6 of the top 10 teams lost. Of the top 10, they lost. Fish, I think March Madness will rival the NFL playoffs. What do you see?
Absolutely agree. I think we're seeing parity. And all sports want parity, especially in the playoffs when one team is capable of beating the other. I think one time in the history of the tournament, a 16 seed has beat a 1 seed. I'm going to bet it happens again this year because St. Mary's just beat Gonzaga. Huge.
Yeah.
I mean, you're seeing upsets every week, and it makes the game better. And you know what? I'm a big college basketball tournament. I know what it meant to you and your father-in-law when you fly out. I see you guys over at Caesar's Palace in the sports book watching every game and all the TV sets. It's a lot of fun. So I believe parity will reign in this tournament, and I believe it's going to be a great, great fan experience.
I agree with you. I agree. Again, in a few minutes, Hardline has some March Madness betting ideas for you as well. Finally, on the grind, the world is uniting around Ukraine enduring the Russian invasion. Ukrainian athletes and stars are actually going back to fight the Russians. Stay tuned for Who's Got the Swag in a few minutes. We got something on that. And even Russian greats are speaking out for Ukraine. Former NHL goalie Dominik Hasek, certain Hall of Famer Alexander Ovechkin, and tennis star Daniil Medvedev. These are Russians going up against Putin. A lot of other sports organizations are speaking out as well, Fish.
Yeah, and I'm shocked. Sometimes Russians are getting on the ice, they're getting booed. It's not the Russian people. It's one guy doing this, Vladimir Putin. And we stay away from politics on this show. But for a guy like me that has I found out my great-grandmother's from the Ukraine, my great-grandfather's from the Ukraine. All right. A film that I love, Fiddler on the Roof, for fellow Jews, kicked out of Ukraine. All right. Yeah. These people, most beautiful people on the world, number one. This guy's a comic. The president, he's out there with an AK-47. He can come to this country and run for president in 2024 and win. That's how popular he is. Serious. I remember my mother. Oh, he's so handsome. I go, Ma, he's married.
That's a good point. Now, I know a lot of fans get angry, so please don't boo Russian players unless they make statements backing Putin in the invasion. They haven't. What we've seen, some orchestra conductors who won't turn on Putin, who are friends, they've lost their jobs in Vienna and Munich. So those things are happening, and that's what's going on. We will try to keep you updated on that. We got a little bit more. Just stick around for Who's Got the Swag.
Yeah, pray for the people. We at Daly Fish pray for the people of the Ukraine. And we hope this thing ends quickly.
Absolutely. All right. And that is the Daily Grind. Questions or comments, drop in the chat box or email us at dailyfish1, the number 1 at gmail.com. Dailyfish1 at gmail.com. We're also on Facebook, YouTube, and Spotify. All right. It's time for Heidi's Hollywood. She is Heidi Holliker. You know her from Valley Girl. She is an actor and a producer who is deep in the entertainment scene. She is with us every week. Heidi, welcome back.
Hey guys, happy to be back. Thank you.
It's great to have you. All right, first, what are you binging on this week? Give us that.
Okay, it's been musical streaming, binging. Get Back. Have you guys seen it? Disney Plus.
Loretta. Get Back, Loretta.
Oh my God. Oh, what a documentary. I'm seriously, it won't leave me. It is amazing. Peter Jackson, the director of Lord of the Rings, he put together all of the footage. It's if you haven't seen it, it's 3.5 weeks of the Beatles' life in '69, and it covers every moment. It shows them writing Something, which is my favorite Beatles song, George Harrison, Get Back. It's extraordinary. It's so hard to even describe, except you get to know the guys, you get to see their creative process. I'm going to share with you little Beatles trivia, little photo of my mom and Paul.
Wow.
Yeah, that's pretty cool,
Beautiful.
huh?
And that's Paul McCartney.
Yes, yes, Charlotte.
I've never recognized him with glasses before. He's like fit.
Something else? Whoops, I'm doing it backwards. Anyway, yes, cool. that is my absolute favorite. Do you want to hear my little Ringo story real quick?
Yeah, sure.
Give it to us
quick.
Okay.
So quickly, I'm at a Hollywood party, early 90s, with my folks, big music producer. We are walking up, my dad and I are walking up the stairwell. There's a landing, a big throne chair. My dad's agency was representing Ringo in the All-Star Band. So my dad goes up to Ringo and says, "Hi, nice to meet you. I'm Stu Miller. We represent you." And Ringo looked at me and said, "And what do you do?" And I said, "Well, I'm an actress and I'm a painter. I have a 2-person show going on in Beverly Hills right now." And then I looked at him and said, "And you?" 1, 2, 3. He looked at me, and then he and Barbara Bach and all the people around him, finally, they broke out in laughter. It took 3 seconds of silence. No one on the earth has ever said that to Ringo Starr. It was my favorite moment in my life.
Who's
all right.
here? Yes.
Favorite
Again,
moment in your life? First of all, before I get to the question I want to ask you, your mother looks like an actress, Emmy Rossum, who was great in Phantom of the Opera, and also on Showtime was on Shameless. I see the Emmy Rossum in her. I could see at least you got your,
I see the Marlo Thomas in her.
well, at least you got your father's good looks. Anyways,
Oh, my mom is
you're old
gorgeous.
school. You're old school, and when you started in Hollywood, like the Burton Gilliam Bubba that we're going to have on later in the show, you had audition. You had
Of
to get
course.
an agent. You had
Of
callbacks.
course.
Okay, here's the
Yeah.
problem I have. Now with so many outlets out there, with the Amazons, the streaming service, Amazon, Hulu, Apple, Netflix.
Netflix.
Okay, there's
Yeah.
a lot more platforms for actors to get work. Yet, SAG and AFTRA are claiming that it's still only the 10% are getting work. I don't buy it. With all these, when you first started, there was only so many platforms. With the networks,
There weren't platforms.
studios, there weren't platforms.
No.
So why is SAG and AFTRA bitching right now?
Well, I'm not sure why you're saying they're bitching specifically, but it's always hard to get a gig. It's always hard. It doesn't matter that there are so many content providers. You still have to go through the process. And keep in mind that everything you're seeing right now, all the content that over the last 2 years with pandemic, those are projects that were developed a couple of years back. So they've been working and putting out material that they've already were prepping. And as far as being an actor, you're up there, no matter what, you're still up against everyone else who's your type. It just is the way it is.
Wow. All right.
Yeah.
Interesting. Hey, let's move on to the Oscars here.
Oh,
They're
yeah.
not going to present during the telecast categories like makeup, documentary, and short film. 8 different ones.
8.
What's your take on that?
Oh, gosh. I mean,
Well,
myself.
hey, look at this. Look at that.
Yeah.
Talk.
Yeah.
Rick Baker, 7 Academy Award winner, 12 nominees, my former boss, worked with him for 9 years. And what an amazing moment that was when he brought the Oscar in. He brought it in, fortunately, multiple years in a row. But to hold that Oscar and to be so excited and to be watching it and knowing you're part of that, to take that away from these 8 categories, from makeup, from sound, from production design, from documentary short, it's taking away people's they've worked their whole lives to get to this point. Imagine if you're nominated for an Oscar. You have worked so hard for so long. This is the pinnacle of your entire career, and you're now being diminished as
Yeah.
far as you're
As far as the
not
art.
as worthy to be on the broadcast. Yes, they're going to see them win. They're going to film them and they're going to do that. So we'll be on the broadcast. But my feeling, my initial feeling, and I've been reading a lot about it. Guillermo del Toro, who is a lovely human being, he's against it. So many people are against it because it's taking away that moment. And this is for your business, for your career, to get that moment, that breathless moment. Everyone deserves it who's gotten to that point. So it's pretty upsetting, especially for my friends in the makeup and hair category. That's
Sure.
it's not
I even
right.
think
It's just not
I
right.
even think the people in the documentary field that
Yeah.
are turning out some incredible real life shorts and stuff
Yep.
like that. I agree with you 100% there. All
You
right.
can't have
Well,
a film, you can't have a best picture. You can't have that without sound, without makeup, without production design. You can't, it doesn't
absolutely.
exist. And a lot of the
Absolutely.
directors are coming out and saying that. It is bottom line a collaborative media. Everyone knows that. If we have 3 hours to watch the Oscars, we have 3.5 hours to watch the Oscars. I mean, for me, late at night, clicking, figuring out what I'm going to watch, that's a half an hour right there. So I don't think it's right at all.
Well, we will talk more about that. We're going to talk more about the run up to the Oscars as well as we keep getting you on here. And that is Heidi's Hollywood. Heidi Holliker is with us every week. Check her out on Facebook and Instagram. Heidi, thank you so much.
Real quick, I want one more thing.
Yeah.
You're the queen
Okay.
of Studio City. I just read in Variety that Arch Deli on Ventura Boulevard is the new Schwab's, where all the deals are being made.
Oh,
Get your butt over there and give us some information on that. There's all kinds of, hey, we're losing
well,
restaurants.
Eric, you and I grew up with Harold Ginsburg and Roberta
Right.
Ginsburg and Beverly. And we grew up with those kids. I worked next door to them at a yogurt shop, and I would give them free yogurt, and they would give me free sandwiches when we were 15. Arts
Right.
Deli is our childhood, and I love it. And Harold runs it. Harold Ginsburg runs it, and he's an awesome guy. So yeah,
Get me
absolutely,
some
it is
smoked salmon and bagels for me when you go there, and then you'll report on what's going on inside
you
Highland
got
College.
it.
All right.
Arugula and chocolate chip Danish. Thanks for coming on. Great
Hey.
to have you.
All right.
Great
We'll
to
see
have
you
you as
next
part
week.
of our team.
Absolutely. All right, now it's time for something fishy. Fish, what are you doing? Uh-oh, glass is coming off. That means something. Go for it.
I think everyone's going to be involved in something fishy. If you're in a left turn lane and you're 5 cars back and you're watching for that signal to go from red to that left arrow, why are you waiting for an extra 15 seconds? I actually saw this report on CNN. It said there's something fishy because the idiot in the first car is on their cell phone texting and not paying attention to the light.
Yeah.
Okay. That's my first fishy. Get off your goddamn phone because I don't want to miss that light. I got to be somewhere. I got to be at Arts Deli, smoked salmon and the bagels. All right. And we know how much you want to eat because if you want to eat that and add to the farting scene that Bubba Gillen was in Blazing Saddles, you need that kind of food. The second one that really pisses me off, I'm in a terrible Herbst. Hardison knows which one it's at. It's by my restaurant. This happens almost every time I go in there, and I'm the idiot for going in there. If I'm 5 deep, why does the cashier have a conversation with every single person that goes up there? All right? I'm not making a lot of money, but you're not there to do the Daly Fish podcast and ask them about their lives. You're there to ring up their beer, their candy, get their gas money. All right? I'm making this fishy very, very short and steamy. Do your job. That's all we're asking. Do your job. I don't want to wait 20 minutes and be 4 deep and get up there. And you know what's funny? When I get up there, they never ask me what I want. They never ask me about my life. What do you need? Am I that schmuck? So that's my fishy. Please, if you're in line, if you're 4 deep in the car, if you're on your cell phone, don't be on your cell phone. That's going to be impossible to do. But for you're working at a convenience store and you're watching this, we're watching you to see if you're going to be an actual great worker.
Absolutely. So be impatient if you have to. All righty. All right, still ahead, our Schmuck of the Week, along with Who's Got the Swag. It's time now for the Daily Fish Hardlines. John Hardison has the podcast, Cost of Winning, focusing on fantasy sports and sports betting. Hardline, welcome back, buddy.
Hey, guys. How you doing today?
We're doing good. We're doing good. Hey, we mentioned March Madness in the grind. Now, granted, we haven't gone through the conference tournaments first, but looking ahead, are there any long shots, maybe like a 5th seed or higher, you might take a prop bet on to win it all?
So you know what? There's 2 teams that I actually kind of really like, and one is one right up your alley. I actually kind of like UConn. UConn has been playing really well lately. Wins against Villanova, wins against Auburn. They've won their last 5 games. They've got great coaching and Bobby Hurley's brother being there. You know, they are really making a push. I know your Providence Friars aren't necessarily going to like that, but you know, they're looking like
they played twice, and let me tell you, it wasn't basketball; it was basketball. And UConn could have won both those games. That's how tight the conference is. But yeah, you're right. I agree with you. I think they're very good.
Yeah, and I think in the next couple of years, we might start to see UConn trending towards those late 90s, early 2000s teams that we saw make those deep runs.
With Jim Calhoun, yeah. All right,
absolutely.
Cool. Who else you got? Who else you think?
You know what? There's another team. They've started to rise. They're a little bit higher now in the poll rankings. Tennessee has been actually playing really well lately. Wins against UNC, wins against Arizona, which is I can't remember right now if they're number 1 or number 2 ranked. And wins against Auburn and University of Kentucky. I mean, they are, putting up. They're extremely well coached, and that was one team to look at. And the last team I got for you is Texas. Granted, they lost last night, but they have close losses against Gonzaga. They beat Oklahoma, beat Kentucky, and beat Tennessee. So if I'm putting a prop bet, those are the 3 that I'm really looking at right now.
I like that. Also, Tennessee's coach, former Providence College coach, Rick Barnes. So, yeah,
yes, he is.
Absolutely. Go ahead, Fish.
Texas can't beat Baylor. They've lost 6 in a row to Baylor, so that's concerning that they get streaky. I said in the grind, I think there's going to be a 16 team that wins against the 1. What do you think? What do you think that bet's going to be at the books? Do you think it's going to be 500 to 1?
They're probably not going to put that high, but it'd be high if there's a team that's on the 16 seed, maybe in that range. Murray State is definitely a team that I really like. Shout out to John Morant. But playing really good basketball, doing really good against the spread, really covering. That's a team that I would kind of really watch out for, depending on how the seeding and bracketology ends up working out when I get seeded in the next few or so.
Right. Why, John? Both Johns asked, why are the Lakers so important to the NBA, and why, as past commissioner, rest in peace, David Stern, and current commissioner Adam Silver, constantly getting caught saying we need our marquee teams in the playoffs when Milwaukee was in the finals against Phoenix last year and was higher rated than Miami and the Lakers the year before. Miami and LA are marquee teams and big markets. Okay, if LeBron's not in it, we have enough players in this league. Don't you believe, Hardline, that are marquee players enough to keep your attention? I like to see Brooklyn get in it.
You know what? Marquee players are enough, but you know as well as I do, Fish, you're an LA guy. It's all about TV ratings. Even out here in Las Vegas, we're still considered an LA market. So we get all the Lakers games or you get blacked out, and even when you look at New York, it's a godsend that the Brooklyn Nets came over to New York and aren't in New Jersey anymore. That's helping that market of New York since the Knicks can't seem to win a game. And, you look at LA, it just keeps helping them on the TV market. If you look at evaluations in terms of the major four sports, the Lakers are the fourth highest valued team at $4.4 billion. I mean, they're more higher value than the Dodgers. You're lovely Dodgers. So I think the NBA looking at it right now, if on paper we go back to the beginning of the season, if you told me that 5 Hall of Famers were on this team, you could not tell me right now they would be at the 9th seed in the Western Conference. We're talking about Westbrook's going to the Hall of Fame, LeBron's going to the Hall of Fame, AD, Dwight Howard. I truly believe he's going to the Hall of Fame. You got 4 of those guys just off the top of my head on one team. It's hard to believe that they're playing this poorly right now. I would guess, my guess is this. Even though LeBron James and a lot of those guys are denying it, John Wall is represented by Rich Paul. Rich Paul and LeBron James are very tight friends. That John Wall deal not going through, I think, is going to have ramifications going into next season.
Okay. Give me a team. You said Cleveland Cavaliers in one of our recent shows is going to be a team that's going to make a push. Give us one team that's in that 9th or 10th seed. The Lakers are 6 games below 500 at 27 and 33. There's 20 games to go. Give us one team, like you would in the tournament, like a Murray State, that could come out of nowhere and make a nice run in the playoffs and maybe get to the finals.
You know what? I know they're not ranked as high, but I kind of like Boston. Boston's defense has been really good lately. They've been playing really well. I would not be surprised if, as long as Jaylen Brown lives up to the expectation, that would be a team I would definitely keep my eye out for in the Eastern Conference to make a push.
All right. There you have it. And that is the Daily Fish Hardline with John Hardison of the Cost of Winning podcast. Find him here with us every week, but he's also on Spotify, Google, and Apple Podcasts. Hardline, thanks, buddy.
Thanks, guys. I'll see you next week.
You got it. All right. And folks, thanks for tuning in. Daily Fish is live on Facebook at daily.fish.5 on Tuesdays at 6 p.m. Eastern, 3 p.m. Pacific. Watch us on Facebook at the Myrtle Beach Golf Channel and Myrtle Beach Grand Strand Life. Check us out on YouTube as well. Look for Daily Fish. Plus, DB&A Television has us on Roku, Amazon Fire, and guess what? We are now on Spotify. All right. It is time for our schmuck of the week. Who has been schmucky this week, Fish?
I don't know if we can ever get through this. I always say we'll lose this in our life. Okay, this is Brett. If you're laughing, Brett Netzer, who was a minor leaguer and 2017 third-round pick of John Daly's favorite team, the Boston Red Sox. He got released because of a series of racist, homophobic, and anti-Semitic tweets, according to multiple reports. The Boston Globe reported that the Red Sox confirmed the posts were Netzer's. Netzer targeted Red Sox executive Chaim Bloom and the LGBT community and Black Americans, saying in one tweet, quote, "I am racist. I do sometimes make assumptions based on another person's race, ethnicity / culture. I'm glad that's out of the way. If you know it's out of the way, you schmuck, you get out of baseball, get out of our lives, asshole. Sorry."
He might not be in baseball. He may never be back. He hadn't played the last couple of years because I don't know if it was the COVID because he was at single A. So with that, I don't know who's going to pick him up. So we'll see. All right.
Maybe the Japanese league.
Yeah, I don't know.
All right, go. Let's do it.
All right.
Better.
Let's see who's got the swag this week. Who are we toasting, Fish? This is a good one.
Yeah, you do. You hit the nail on the head. Check out this beauty. And this country is known for having one of the most beautiful people. They lead the world in mail order brides, and you can see why. But this is not a mail order bride. Okay, look at that. She's holding an AK-47. All right, and this is Anastasia Lena, former Miss Grand Ukraine, is now a member of the Ukraine Fighting Force of 36,000 women, who is giving up everything from her running around doing modeling and doing all kinds of events to sitting out there in the streets outside of Kiev trying to protect her country from the Russians. I can't tell you, we've done this is our 45th episode, and we've done swags, and they've all been worthy. Okay, this woman is probably the worthiest, John. I want your opinion on this, because what she's doing and the fact that the people have got out in the streets protecting their country, to me, I'm honored. How about you?
Yep. Absolutely. No, the Ukrainian people are just amazing. I know they've got a lot more horrific things that they're going to be facing, but let's hope it ends for them soon, and we all get to toast them at many times. So right now we have our drink of the week, so we are going to toast to her. And what are we sipping here, Fish?
Well, I don't want to call it the Moscow Mule, but I'm going to call it the Ukrainian Mule. I'm going to have her sit there. I usually take them off, but she's going to do it with us. So basically, this is any kind of vodka that's not from Russia, ginger beer, and a lime garnish. And we toast to Anastasia Lena, and we hope that this conflict ends. And for her courage and her bravery, God bless you.
Cheers to Anastasia as well. The good news is that the distillery business is so good around here that you can create a lot of vodkas, and they don't have to be from Russia, so they can definitely do that.
True.
All right, so we toast Anastasia with our drink of the week, and our drink of the week, the Daly Fish drink of the week, is sponsored by Shucks Tavern in Vegas. Great seafood and drinks in 2 locations. Head to Shucks Tavern on North Durango on the northwest side of town, where Fish is. That's right. You walk in there, Fish is going to be there overnight. You walk in there, say Daly Fish Podcast, you get a free drink. You do it the next day, a free appetizer. That's Shucks Tavern. Check out Shucks Tavern on Facebook. All right, we're just getting started. Up next, we gab with Burton Gilliam from Blazing Saddles fame. But first, you need to get those golf clubs ready and hit the Myrtle Beach Golf Trail. It has dozens of courses along the Carolina coast that are different, and they're fun. They set up for an entire trip for you, for yourself, your family, just a bunch of friends. The site is the myrtlebeachgolftrail.com. You can play there year round. Now is the most ideal time to go. This is high season. Make sure you can get yourself there. And if you're down here, let Daly Fish know. Who knows? We may go visit you. All right, time for our special guest. Burton Gilliam has appeared in some of the most iconic comedy films of our times. You may remember him in this. Play it, Fish.
Okay, let me get there. Just
Uh-oh.
How about some more beans, Mr. Taggart? I'd say you've had enough.
48 years later.
150,000 times. I cannot laugh. Now,
48 years later, and we're still laughing at it.
And we're bringing Burton probably on right now, John, but he's the first guy to lift his leg up.
Absolutely.
Bubba, how did you audition for that?
Boy, you guys got a classy show there. Did you know that?
So did you have to practice that, Bubba? Did you have to practice before that happened?
Listen, Mel came in that morning that we were doing that out on the desert. And he said, "I'm going to make you famous today." And I said, "How's that?" He said, "Well, you know what we're doing?" I said, "Yeah." He said, "It's never, ever been done on in a movie before. You're going to be the very first, not among the first. You're the first." And oh boy, it has followed me around. That was a sound that was heard around the world.
You know,
And everybody's heard the sound before, but not like that.
it's so good to meet you. I never really tell people this because you're one of my heroes just for that scene. Because John and I could do that scene by ourselves, and you get rid of all the other actors just by eating a fat burger with chili on it. But you did that scene. I said whenever that movie came out, I was 7 a kid. I cannot watch it. Look, I'm turning red without laughing my ass off.
Well, thank you, Fish. And that's the way it is. Anywhere I'm with some people who put on the movie and watch that part, I mean, that is, the laughter lasts for a long time. Thank you, Mel.
What was it? The guy comes out and waving his hat. What the hell, y'all? Oh my God!
That was Slim Pickens.
Yeah, Slim Pickens. Slim Pickens.
Slim Pickens. He became my best friend. Oh, what a guy!
That's great.
That's great.
I looked over your resume, and something that stood out to me is that when you were in the Coast Guard, you were a boxer, and you won 201 out of 217 bouts. Then you became a referee. Mel Brooks could have hired you to be a bodyguard on some of his films. Tell me about your boxing career, and did you think about making that a career because you were so successful at it?
Oh, yeah. Actually, my 217 fights, most of them were all over the country as an amateur Golden Glove fighter. I won more Golden Glove championships than anybody in the history of the sport anywhere.
Wow.
And I used to work out with nothing but pros. I beat guys that went on and won the pro world championships. And I did think about turning pro a couple of times, but I don't know. I was married to a little gal at that time that didn't like me to fight, and my mom didn't like me to fight. And I was, you see this right here? This is really all I've got. I was fast with these things and I could hit hard, but really this is me. And I always wanted, before I would fight some guy, if I didn't know him, I'd say, "Hey, where are you from, boy? Tell me about yourself." And they'd be saying, I just want to fight you. And then I would go out there and most of the time I would win. I had a lot of knockouts. That was back in a time when in fighting Golden Gloves, if you knocked somebody down, they didn't just stop the fight. They said 1, 2, 3. They'd count the guy out, and that was fun to stand in the corner over and say, "Stay down, stay down."
So Bubba, you and I, we played in some celebrity golf events together. And what was it about you being a boxer that, I mean, did you have that knockout punch, or were you just kind of a good stay in the ring, stay in the fight?
I could do, now that I look back at it, I could do a little bit of everything. I was very fast. I was long and tall. I weighed 147 pounds, 6'1", and I was nothing but a bunch of bones. But I was really fast and could hit hard, and threw combinations well. I was a good defensive fighter. Oh, I hated to get hit. Ooh, that's the worst thing. So anybody that can do those things should be a pretty good fighter. And I guess I was. Now here's the honest to gosh truth. 217 fights. I was scared. I mean, afraid every time I got in the ring. I mean, I was afraid. But I found out fear and speed go hand in hand. And boy, I wanted to get them out of there quick, and I did a lot of times.
I don't blame you. Was there a fighter that you emulated?
No, I really didn't. There were a lot of good long, tall fighters back then. A guy by the name of Dupree from New Orleans that I used to work out with, and he went on. Can't even call his first name. He won the World Welterweight Championship for about a year, but I used to work out with him all the time, and a lot of great pros. But it's very seldom as a welterweight that you get to work out with people that are, at 6'1", 147 pounds. You don't get to work out with guys like that. And usually I didn't fight people. They were usually 5'9", 5'8", and even though they might be very, very fast, they had to come to me. And when they came to me, I had that waiting on them. If they tried to jab their way in and do it in such a way that they brought back the left hand, ooh, thank you very much, because I'm going to hit you in the mouth.
I love that line. Fear and speed is a great combination. Wow, I'm going to use that when I'm dealing with some of my customers at the bar. It's a great, great line. I want to get back to Blazing Saddles because this is the one comedy I believe that every generation relates to. It's that good, even though it came out in the early 70s.
Yep.
Because Mel Brooks, in my opinion, and I speak for John, probably one of the greatest comedy writers of all time and way ahead of his time. Look at this one scene clip that we pulled out of here that just shows you how ahead of his time. And I want you to talk about this actor that says it, the two actors.
Okay.
Be patient. It takes a while to load sometimes.
Got to get in there close and find out what's happening. There's our ticket.
Hey, boys! Look what I got here.
Hey, where are the white women at?
Now,
you can't get away with that today.
You will never, ever see that again in a motion picture. That's not going to happen. Well, of course, you'll never see anything as Blazing Saddles. That's in Blazing Saddles again. But it was a wake-up call to the country. It happened at a real good time. We were just coming out of the Vietnam War. The country was ready to laugh. And Mel Brooks stepped right in there and made the people laugh, and did it in such a way that it'll 3 years after that, after we made the picture, it couldn't be done then. It just struck a nerve, a kind, wanting kind of nerve in the American people, or in people all over the world, and we'll never see that again. I hate that.
Yeah.
But of course, we talk about Black Lives Matter and all of that stuff, and I go right along with that. But we, back then, and still, if I talk to people of different color, different religions and races, they still give me the very best of high regards for making that picture. I've never had but one person ever come up to me and say something bad. A black guy who was a running back, the top running back for the LA Rams back, this was in about 1977, 4 years after he'd been released.
Mm-hmm.
But he was all drunked up anyway. And he wanted to fight, but I was with a lot of other people at a party, and they said, no, they told him, you're drunk and you don't want to fight this guy drunk.
And he's scared and fast too.
There you go.
one of the interesting things, Cleavon Little left us way, way too early. But it's really interesting is that, you felt uncomfortable
Oh,
using the N word all the time. And you actually, he was cool with it. And
yeah.
you actually tried to, you talked to him and said, hey,
Yeah.
talk about that
He,
relationship.
you know, I'm from Dallas, Texas. I'm from the South. I I heard that word, the N word, from the time I was, old enough to know what the word before I knew what the word meant. But we had been. This is about the fourth day of work for me on the picture, and we were doing that scene, and I'm calling him everything, you know, calling him bad things. And I was having a little bit of trouble doing that. Not that I had not said those words before in my life, but we were doing a different camera setup, and Cleavon came over to me and said, "Hey, let's walk out here on the desert for a minute." I said, okay, so we walked out there, and he says, "Listen, I know that you're having a bit of a problem saying those words to me," but he said, "This is a movie. Here, I'm brand new. I mean, I had done a picture called Paper Moon just before that, but I'm brand new. I don't know anything about the business." And he says, "I know you're having a tough time saying those words, even though you have said them before. Do not worry. We're making a picture. We're having fun. This is all fun. We're all laughing at you right here." He said, "I'm laughing inside. The people that are shooting this, they're laughing inside. Don't you worry about it." I said, "Ooh, well, okay, thank you." And we turned around, we started back to go back on the set. And he said, "But listen, if after Mel says cut, you say those words to me, we're going to have a bad time." He was just great, and of course, uh, Richard Pryor, you know, he was the number one choice for them to do the picture.
Mhm. Yeah.
Everybody
Wow.
wanted him except the two top executives at Warner Brothers, whoever they were at the time, and that's the two top guys that you don't want who won't be in your corner. So Richard did not get the picture. I would have liked to have seen how it would have looked that way. But hey, with all the success that Blazing Saddles has had, how can you not say, ooh, Cleavon Little was perfect for the part?
I agree.
Oh, he sure was. I go back. I've seen the film probably 50 times. I'll probably watch it after the podcast again because in honor of yourself. But I look at the cast. I look at Cleavon Little, Gene Wilder, Bubba Gilliam, Madeline Kahn, who stole the movie in my opinion. That Lily Rod Stokes scene.
And
Harvey
with
Korman, Bubba. And I'm thinking to myself this. I ask a lot of people that are actors, especially 50 years like yourself, on this particular project, did Mel Brooks give you guys the autonomy to ever improvise, or was it only by script?
he let Harvey improvise.
Okay.
That's the
Ah,
only person on the whole picture that the rest of us, we stuck pretty much to the film, to the script. Mel ruled it with an iron hand, but I'd only worked for one director. I had never been in a grade school play till Paper Moon, and I worked with the greatest director I've ever worked with Peter Bogdanovich, who we lost about 3 months ago. Peter told everybody, uh, Madeline, everybody, he just told everybody what to do. Ryan O'Neal, everybody, how to move, what to say. Mel Brooks, Mel doesn't tell anybody what to do. He lets you make up your movement. He lets you make up your character, everything except the words. You must say the words as he wrote them, but the rest of it you better know what you better be able to move and do and talk and get around. I went out a couple of days early for the picture, and I'm glad that I did, because I went on the set and I found out, hey, this guy does not, whoever he was, I'd never heard of Mel Brooks. He did not tell anybody what to do other than say the words. So I had to, and I found out I was pretty good at making up what to do. I was pretty good at making up how to dance. The Camptown ladies sing this song, doo-dah, doo-dah, you know. And you know what? In that scene, I can tell you, you go back and watch that scene, I'm the best dancer in the whole scene.
Oh, hell yeah.
Yeah, there's no doubt. You know,
Even the horses weren't as good.
it was kind of a Fred Astaire moment for me, you know.
Horses weren't as good. You know, you brought up something that's my next question is that if Mel let you guys do your own movements, how classic is it that in the greatest scene in the movie, all you had to do was lift your leg?
And that's what he did not tell me how to do it. He just said, play like you are at the fire station. That's a fact. He hired me away from the fire department, you know.
Yeah. And
that's what he told me. He said, just play like you're at the fire station. And I said, oh, because that's second nature to the fire department. You know?
Bubba, let me ask you this, or let me tell you quickly. Sir, I think I was 17 at the time, and I was on a date with some girl, and I can't remember who it was. And we sat in the front row. I took her to this movie. I'm literally laughing. So I slid off the chair. I'm laughing. And this girl had no sense of humor. It was the last time I ever dated her. They never let me, her parents never let me go near her. Did you realize in the midst of shooting Blazing Saddles how incredibly funny this was going to be?
No, nobody did. Even, you know, but, well, I say that, but I guess that's not true, because in the first 3 or 4 days on the picture, they, when we would, the first 2 or 3 times we would do a shot that they really had the camera on, we were not rehearsing. Everybody would laugh. Everybody would laugh. After about, I don't know, the first day or so, second day, Mel said, okay, this is getting us behind. And as you know, when you're working on a project, everything works in 15-minute intervals. If you get 15 minutes behind, the producer is going to say, hey, we got to pick this thing up. So Mel said, that's it right there. Mel said, we're going to let you laugh one time, but it's going to be in rehearsals. After that, nobody laughs. And, you know, you'd look, and when you're doing a scene, you could look over behind the camera or over at the sound department or people in wardrobe, and they're going.
Oh my God. Hey, Bubba, let me ask you this. I mean, you had to have a premiere. You had to go to the premiere of the movie, right? Do you remember the premiere? And how was that? I mean, every single scene from the Madeline Kahn to Harvey Korman with the bathtub. But how was that scene received in the theater when you saw it at the premiere?
Oh, it was unbelievable. We had it at the Avco Embassy in Westwood, and I had already been to 2 previews with the thing, and you know, the people there, 50 to 100 people, they just go crazy. But Mel said, these people are paid to be here. Don't worry about them. Let's see what happens when we have the world premiere. Same thing happened at the world premiere. And this is back before floor walling. This is back when, you know, the whole theater probably was 500, 600 people. I don't know. And the place was going absolutely crazy. And after after we saw it, Mel was he was beside himself. And I've never seen Mel Brooks laugh so much. And I've been with him many times, and he laughed at it. That he'd say, and you know the joke about so and so that Madeline said, "Oh, that was great." Oh, he just and he has always said, Blazing Saddles is the funniest movie ever made. And that's,
I agree.
He'll say
I
that.
agree.
Today.
I'm right with you. Yeah.
You know what, Bubba? You mentioned a movie earlier that was dear to my heart. I want to ask you. You worked on Paper Moon, and could you tell that Tatum O'Neal was going to be the kind of star she was going to be? Because did she win an Academy Award at a youngest ever to win an Academy Award? Brilliant movie. Did you see the talent in her then?
Oh gosh, yeah. She was, of course, Peter Bogdanovich was handling her with kid gloves because I'd never been in before a camera. She had never been before a camera. She really was. She won the Academy Award for Best Supporting Actress. She was not the best supporting actress. She was really the best actress. She ran the whole show, and it was. But I don't know that I was brand new, so I couldn't say, "Hey, this girl's going to win the Academy Award or going to be whatever she is." But it was really wonderful just to watch her work. She she was so natural and had such a good time. And when the scene was over and they were changing camera position, she was just off having a good time with just a girl and I never saw her go to the and work on her script. I think she just read the script and knew what to say and did not have to work on it. And she just did it. She was a real talent, and not many people can do that. I can't do that. Just look at the script one time, boom, you got it.
Wow. Yeah, she was good. That was a great flick.
Yeah.
Hey, Bubba, we got about 4 or 5 minutes left here. I just got a text from Wonder Woman, and she asked, could Daly Fish please tell Bubba that she's still waiting at the table? What's that all about?
I know that's a lie. He called you, pal. Well, that is Sorrentino's. Do you know where Sorrentino's is? On the corner of Pass and whatever in Burbank.
Burbank, yeah.
That's the last place I saw Linda. We went together for a month, for a bunch of months, 7 or 8 months, way back yonder in 1973, and she was the most wonderful little gal. She was a wonder. She was not Wonder Woman at the time, but she was a wonder. And that's all I'm telling you.
Boy, we try to get an exclusive here on Daily
We've got
Fish.
our own little secrets, but nobody knows them.
Well, yeah. We can only imagine. I do know this, that if you ever dated her, you never recreated that scene where you lifted your leg like that. Any dates you ever had. But I want to ask you this, because we've lost all the great ones. We've lost Madeline, we've lost Cleavon Little, Harvey Korman, Gene Wilder. But they're all gone. They're all gone. But thank God you're with us with all this piss and vinegar you have. I got to ask you one last question. Do you still keep in touch with Mel Brooks?
I used to, but when the pandemic started 2 years ago, he was in the office every day until then.
Right.
I have not talked to him in 2 years, but I look forward to, he's 95 years old.
Yeah.
I'm 83, but I got all my hair. Look at that. It's turned
You
into
do.
Great, man.
Well, hopefully you're going to talk to Mel, and you'll get Mel on the show here with us at some point.
Oh, yes. You need to have Mel on here. Do you think I make you laugh a little bit? he'll make you laugh a whole bunch, boy.
Oh yeah, yeah. I'm going to ask him to do the work.
Where,
Oh
where,
boy, I'm going to have him do that.
boys, where you been playing?
You remember, hey, Bubba, remember the scene where he's playing in Indian and he sees the black couple and he goes, "That doctor's in the video."
Yes. See, I don't know what he was saying. I have no idea.
He said that Johnson didn't get Levin. He was speaking Yiddish, but it was just.
He finally told me what Schwarzes meant. You know?
We had ahead of its time.
What an education.
And you know, and Lily von Stupp.
Oh,
you know what? Until about 8 or 9 years ago, I did not know Stupp. I just thought it was a funny name that Mel had written in there for. I was down at a Jewish country club in Houston playing golf with some guys, and they told me what Lily von Stupp meant.
Well, T-Bone Little's character found out with the 15 Schnitzengrubens. Remember that? What a nice guy. Oh, I mean, God. I'm going to watch the film. When we get done with this, I'm going to watch the film again. It's great.
You got to watch it again. All right.
Well,
hey, we've been talking to comedic actor Burton Gilliam.
You've seen the picture 50 times. Alice Cooper claims 4 years ago, he claimed he'd seen it 250 times.
I wouldn't be surprised. Knowing Alice.
Hey, I enjoyed being with you guys.
You've been great, Bubba. So great to have you. We're going to have you back on again, buddy. Stay in touch.
Okay, I'll do that. Thank you so much. Fish, look, I'm putting you in charge, okay? Because I know this guy. I know that we got to have somebody in charge, and you're it.
Tell you what, if you ever get to Vegas, you come to my restaurant, we'll eat, then we'll recreate the scene for all the customers, okay?
You bet. I'll get up on the biggest table right in the middle of the place and do it.
All right, buddy. Thank you. Nice meeting you.
Nice meeting you,
Bubba.
Thanks, buddy.
Bye, John.
We've been talking to comedic actor Burton Gilliam, best known for his role as Lyle in Blazing Saddles, which inspired Daly Fish for about 50 years, and we thank him so much. All right, coming up, the Fish and I are going to wrap things up, give you a sneak peek for next week. First, we want you to check out Hope for the Warriors. They have a big celebrity golf event coming up August 27th to 29th. It will be in Wallace, North Carolina, near Wilmington. Hope for the Warriors works with our military warriors who were wounded to restore their sense of self, family, and hope. They get them healthy and well so they are part of their families and their community. It is a great charity. It's a great event. And you'll see us up there as well. That is hopeforthewarriors.org. Check it out. All right, before we go, a reminder, Daly Fish is live from Vegas and Myrtle Beach. We're on Facebook at daily.fish.5, plus the Myrtle Beach Golf Channel and Myrtle Beach Grand Strand Life. DB&A Television has us on Roku TV and Amazon Fire. Soon, we're going to be streaming on Wingding TV. You can pick up the app now, and we are on Spotify. Make sure to write us at dailyfish1@gmail.com. Okay, we got the business out of the way. Didn't you love Bubba? Wasn't that great?
And we laughed. And look, my dog Molly's sitting on the couch right there. We brought the farting scene. What does she do? She comes in and farts. I mean, what an homage. Thanks, honey. What an homage to this. Not only engaging, but just so full of life and great stories. You found that I never knew Richard Pryor was the first in line to play that role. Did you?
Yeah, I remember that. Yeah. So, yeah. He's like that. He's like that in person. I played in Fuzzy Zeller's tournament with him for probably about 6 or 7 years, and he was just the greatest, nicest guy. That's why we had to have him on the show. So, we thank him. We give him a toast as well. Next week, hey, NHL great goalie Grant Fuhr is going to join us, so we're looking forward to that. And guys, a lot going on in sports this week, that's for sure. So we got a big week coming up, and we're looking forward to Grant Fuhr.
Right. Angela Stone. My mom loves Blazing Saddles. Wow. We all did, Angela. And it's a great, it's great. And Daly Fish is just blowing up. Great guest. It's so much fun doing this show with you, John. I know you got a bowling gig after this. Swing right, hit the Brooklyn. Grant Fuhr is going to be great. We're probably going to get John somewhere this weekend. The weather's really heating up here in Vegas and the Carolinas. So every week we're on and we're picking up more people, and I'm really excited.
Yep, got some good stuff and good show coming up next week. Plus, we got a lot of sports to talk about as well. So hang
Right.
in there, big buddy. I will. We'll definitely see you next week. We're just about done here, and looking forward to it. Love you, pal. Great job.
You too, buddy. Love you too, man. And good.